directives that we are given by the presiding officer on the issue of Dr. Besigye. The first time the issue was raised by the Honorable Semuju Nganda, and I was among the people who made supplementary comments. And the Attorney General was asked to present a report. Subsequently, when there was no report, the opposition chief whip equally raised issues, supplemented by the Honorable Atkins. Listening to the learned Attorney General, his response was limited to the comments that had been made by the opposition chief whip. The earlier issues that were raised are omitted in the statement by the Attorney General. And even the report by, your guidance to the Human Rights Committee did not cover the issues that were first raised by the Honorable Semuju and subsequently other members on the committee. So, Honorable Speaker, I just wanted your guidance in light of the fact that the statement by the learned Attorney General omits some of the issues that had been raised there and seeks to focus on only the issues that had been raised by the government chief. As a matter of fact, the presiding officer directed the Attorney General twice in as far as the report is concerned.
Thank you. Attorney General, you wanted to respond to that?
Honorable Speaker, I want to state categorically clear. My response is based on a copy of the Hansard, what is written on the Hansard, as it was given to me. There was nothing deliberate that I intended to leave out anything, okay? But if you feel that something else was left out, we can make reference to that particular Hansard. I will apply for it and make extra responses.
So now, just let's make it easy. Honorable Attorney General, the Hansard was referring to issues raised by Honorable Atkins, because you asked for the Hansard because you said you didn't understand his submission, so you wanted the record. Now, for the other people, you didn't say that you didn't understand. So we knew you had picked the issues, and you would respond to them. Honorable Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, many times the front bench makes commitment here. And in the spirit of the House, we do concede when they request that they will come after 2 weeks or a month. One such commitment that came from him, the Deputy Attorney General, was when I asked the question here on the performance of the judiciary, which came from the report released by the judiciary stating that the Supreme Court was able to perform at only 15%, meaning that about 85% of decisions expected from them were not delivered. The same with the Court of Appeal that had performed around 20 or 25. The best was High Court at 35. But that translated into about 80,000 cases that are before courts, and those of criminal nature means that we have people detained, which accounts for the congestion in the prisons, accounts for a number of all these things. The Deputy Attorney General undertook that he would come here with a full report accounting for those cases. And if I may cite one example, Mr. Speaker, there is a gentleman called Robert Biarohanga, who has spent 28 years in Luzira prisons without trial. 28 years. I know many people charged with murder and capital offenses that have been sentenced to 15, 20 years. So that tells you already that even if the person is tried eventually, the sentence that will be passed by court may actually be 5 or 10 years. So how do you then compensate that person for their 20 years that you have waited? And that is just one case amongst so many. So he had undertaken, I think the period has passed, to bring a comprehensive report detailing cases that are pending at the Supreme Court and what are the issues. And I raised that issue because this parliament, in my opinion, had done very good justice to the judiciary. When we passed the Administration of Judiciary Act into law to make them comfortable to do their work, when we approved the number of judges, judicial officers, we expected speedy and timely disposal of cases so that those ones who are guilty are judged as such and then they are sent. Then those ones who are not are removed. If you look at the statistics, out of the 80,000 plus people who are in prisons, more than 50 to 60,000 are actually on remand. 50 to 60,000 are on remand. What happens when they are judged or when they are found not to be guilty? That's the issue. So we don't have to come every time to remind the Deputy Attorney General, and I think it speaks to what the Honorable Asuman is talking about. My understanding of parliamentary procedure seemed to be different. I expected the front bench to be serious, to be supported by their team, that when they make commitments here, there are people to remind them. That's why, Mr. Speaker, you have so many procedures reminding you, or I have to come and line in your office just to remind you that, sir, there was that issue I raised a month ago, and it has not been answered. Can you put on the order paper? That's why the business of this house cannot move.
Thank you.
So if they could be cautioned and probably guided, so that the commitments they make here, they are there to eat, so that we don't clog this house so much.
Thank you. I totally agree with you, Honorable Jonathan. And I've been emphasizing, Honorable Korir, that we don't clog the order paper. We don't clog the order paper. But now sometimes you bring responses already overtaken by time and all that, you know, we end up having issues. Honorable Attorney General, these other issues.
Honorable, that may have been an oversight because I really acted based on what was raised then.
Okay.
I'm going to write to the clerk so that I get a copy of that other Hansard, so that it can guide me on what was actually raised. No, but also be mindful that if it falls within what is expected to come out of court, I will leave that out and respond to that which is not.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We know issues when they are sub judice. You come here when you're limited, you say it's sub judice, and we also pronounce ourselves on that. That's number one. Yeah? And number two, I think what I'm going to do, let's not wait. I'm going to instruct the clerk to write to you. Because you see, I know what they do, the practice under Office of Government Chief Whip has been to pick these issues and you write to the minister responsible to come and respond, because this is what coordination is all about. So right now, Prime Minister, I would request really you discuss with the office, with the technical officers in Office of the Government Chief Whip. They make it very easy for your front bench. The issues are always picked, you write, and you also give us copies. Okay? So that we avoid this situation. Now, honorable colleagues, we have this report. Why don't we go to these statements for sure?
1 minute, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Atkins?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It pains me, surely, seeing Honorable Attorney General making a fool of this house, and with due respect.
But the Honorable Attorney General said he doesn't understand you. For him to understand you, I have to deliver answer to him.
No, you see, that's the foolery that I'm talking about. Mr. Speaker, sir, it depends on the gravity of the matter. You're talking about life and death. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when he went to the clerk to Parliament, he was served with a copy of the Hansard. And he called me out of the chambers. Mr. Speaker, sir, respectfully, I went to the Attorney General. We sat just on the seat, and he had a paper copy. And it shocks me to my bone seeing the Attorney General come in here and not addressing the matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, some of us have been to court. We know what Dr. Besigye is gone through. I was seated next to his sister, Dr. Olive Kabusinje. The lady cried all through the court session. That's the matter we're talking about, Mr. Dag. Be kind to the family. Dr. Besigye may not be a relative, but be kind to his son, his wife, his sisters and brothers, in the entire country, especially some of us that believe in him.
Now,
Sir, this cannot be just a joking matter. You come here, just pass time, as if we are here to serve at your pleasure. We are not entertainers, Mr. Dak. We're not. And Mr. Speaker, as I sit ground, please let him commit, and it should not be beyond tomorrow. We've been waiting for that report. You have the answer. You have no excuses. This is not a house for excuses. Enough is enough. We want to see that report tomorrow, Mr. Dag, with the due respect. And in conclusion, I make this conclusion that surely from today moving forward, I made this conclusion, and I want to put it before you, Mr. Attorney General, that being a deputy attorney general does not change who you were, it reveals who you were. And I want to ask you to please, for 1 minute, have a human heart. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honorable colleague, I don't know why we've gone personal. Oh no. Huh? I don't know why we've gone personal. I think we were moving very well, but now the challenge I'm getting, Honorable colleagues, is we stand up on point of procedure, then we start submitting substantively on items that we have here. Why don't we receive the report of the Human Rights Committee? I open up Honorable Numbers. You people, you debate.
But we need that commitment, Mr. Speaker, that report that he was supposed to address himself or pay attention to tomorrow without fail. Mr. Speaker, sir, that's my request. This is from family, this is from the global community, and this is from our fellow citizens. We can't allow to just sit in this house looking at the front seat, making this institution that you preside over, Mr. Speaker, in a joke. We're not going to allow that, Mr. Speaker. That is your constitutional office. You're a presiding officer. We are not going to allow people like my honorable brother making a joke or a fool of this house. Not on our watch, Mr. Dag. Not on our watch.
Honorable colleagues, I think where we've reached, I'll be directing the clerk. Anyone who picks a microphone without my permission and you submit, that submission shall be expunged from the record of Parliament. Maybe we can have order. Otherwise, people are going to keep grabbing microphones, and then the ones who have behaved will be like, but why are we? Yeah. Otherwise, anyone who has a microphone in front of them, they can easily grab, express their opinions. But I request we calm down, okay? We sent the committee to Luzira. The committee has brought its report. Honorable Doug.
Honorable Speaker, I find that to be more or less a person attack, an attack on my person as an individual and character. And I want to request that it should be expunged. If he has anything personal with me, we can handle it outside of Parliament. Thank you.
Now, honorable colleagues, the tone is a little bit different from the language. But I don't know. These days, Honorable Atkins These days, Honorable Watkins, maybe we shall have a talk in the office. Let's have a talk. I understand why you're behaving the way you're behaving these days. It's because it has. Sometimes I keep quiet. I see situations, I decide I keep quiet. I leave you talk, and in the end, I keep quiet. But I think we are creating, we are brewing a storm in a teacup. We are listening to each other. There is a report of the committee. I would say, let's go to that report. Today, I'm so lenient. I want to be as lenient as possible. It will be up to you. If it reaches 5, I wanted to adjourn at 5. Okay, I'm seeing the time you're eating. So if you decide to use your time this way, then at a certain time I will adjourn and we've concluded the matter. Yeah. So, Chair of the committee.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, permit me to lay on table the following documents. Number 1, a report of the Human Rights Committee. Number 2, a minority report attached to the report of the Human Rights Committee. Number 3, minutes of 2 meetings held in respect of this subject. And number 4, submissions of written submissions of Uganda Human Rights Commission and written submissions of Uganda Prison Services. I beg to lay. Right Honourable Speaker, permit me to present a report of the Committee on Human Rights on the visit to Luzira Maximum Security Prison to assess the prison conditions of Colonel, retired Dr. Kiiza Besigye, and Haji Obeid Lutale Kamulega. With your indulgence, Right Honourable Speaker, may I skip pages 1, which has introduction. It also has the members of Parliament who visited Luzira. Pages 4, that has the legal framework. Page 5 is still legal framework. Page 6, objectives of the field visit and methodology.
Yes,
and
we can do from 2.0.
From?
2.0.
2.0.
On page 6. Objectives, methodology, we need to know how you went. And
Right Honourable Speaker, the objectives were, number 1, to visit